so now that Bleach Soul Reasonance is over in terms of the beta, and not gonna lie, I'm just like, what do I do? Where do I go? What do I do? But I did want to talk about the free-to-play fairness for the game itself, just to give you guys a bit of a rough idea on how it's currently looking in terms of the amount of currency you can generate, so that way you can summon for the characters, right? Is it pay to win heavy? Is there some free-to-play fairness to it? So we're just gonna kind of go over that on what we can obtain on a monthly basis, and then just kind of go from there in terms of on how well prepared you could be for character-wise going forward. Now, with all of that, I just quickly wanted to throw this in here. There was an announcement with the ending of the previous testing that we just had, of course, with the developers just kind of thanking us and giving us the time on when it's going to be closing. However, they have also announced that. So, speaking of the recharge amount, of course, in this round of testing, will be included in the public beta rebate activity. So, there is going to be a public beta. So, that can go one of two ways, because with the public beta, that's going to be releasing whenever, I assume soon, fingers crossed. I've been hearing September is when we could expect it, but it could be a thing where the public beta version of it releases and then it continues on, because the public beta data stays on. So with whatever progression you make on the public beta, it will carry over for the full release. So it could be a thing where the public beta drops and then it pretty much just continues until the developers are happy to be like, yep, release time. Because of course, having a game on the public beta, if any issues arise, it basically covers their asses. I'm sure you guys are aware of Fortnite. I don't know if to this day if they still got it, but for the longest times within the many years of the game being out, it was classed as open beta. So it's just something that developers do. So it could be that, or it could be open beta, small little break, and then release. A very small little break. It's just to kind of clean up a few things. So yeah, the public beta is going to be next. Progression will keep on, and that will lead into the release, or it could just transition as the game is still live into the release. It's going to be one of two. It's going to be one of two. So I just wanted to make sure of that. And then of course, once all that happens, global news should be a thing after, once the game is out there for CN. So yeah, not long left. I know a lot of people are hoping for global. Don't worry. Just need to get this game out there, and then we can continue on with the global journey and see on what the plan of action is going to be there. It's going to be probably released for global. I don't think there'll be any testing, since they just need to carry over with how the CN version is, and then do some small little changes, translations, add in blood and all that good stuff. So yeah, there's that. Now, with all of that, like I said, where is the game at in terms of what we experience, what I experienced, but what some people experience in terms of playing the beta version, on how was it to get currency. Obviously that then transitions over to characters. Now, I haven't dropped my thoughts and opinions of the game like a full-on review. I'll do that after, because there are some small pet peeves on how the currency is affected and to where the currency actually goes to, because of a limitation that the game has. So that's something that I'll speak about. But let's just kind of focus on with what we can gather on a monthly basis in a free-to-play manner, to then transitions into you using that on a character, right? Because hopefully, like I said, going forward in terms of how the game was when it came to the release of Itsugaya, we managed to get his engraving card for free. So if they can do, because the event side of it for the game itself was spot on, so if they can make it so that we can get the engraving card as well as a weapon card of the newest character for free, then that would, one, alleviate a lot of pressure on players, right? And well, and on top of that, give everyone access to the full kit of the character, and then obviously people can then start going in for dupes. And so yeah, to me it's just kind of fair if they decide to go down that route, which I hope they do. That is one of the suggestions that I have made, to make it so that weapon engravings are accessible through events. One copy. So that way we've got the full kit, and that we only need to worry about the characters, to those that don't want to go crazy and invest, of course, especially to those that are free to play too. It also gives you a full access to a character. So in terms of how it's looking, with what we can gather, so on a weekly basis, you're looking around about a multi. You can basically grind up. By the way, the way I'm speaking about it is Endgame, because obviously when the game releases, there's going to be events here, there, logins here, there, where it's going to give you 1 multi, 2 multi, 3 multi, right? I'm pretty sure at the very beginning of the release of the game, you're going to be able to like gather 80 tickets, 90 tickets, like basically a guaranteed character. So at the very beginning of the game, you know, they're going to be very generous, and that's kind of typical. But if we focus on Endgame, because that's typically where everyone's going to be at, we're looking around about a multi per week. So on a monthly basis, you're looking around about 40 pools, right? If we just go with that, 40 pools. And that's excluding events. So obviously with the Hitsugaya event that we had, this gave us an idea on how, when a new character releases, what additional resources are we getting in terms of currency. There's always going to be a free multi being given, but that's going to be gathered on a daily login basis, of course, so that's fine, but still a multi's there. And then through the event, there was a lot of the Spirit Jade currency that we can gather. So you're looking around about an additional, through the character releasing with their events, you're looking around about 2 multis extra. 2 multis extra. So I don't know how often. So this is the only part of it that I'm kind of confused on, because as it stands right now, on a monthly basis, if you keep up with the game, you grind, do the content and whatnot, you're looking around about 40 pools a month. When the events come in for the characters, you can add on an extra 20, so that's 60. I don't know how many times we're going to be getting an update, because if it's 1 character per month, then 60 is what we're walking away with. If it's 2 updates per month, meaning 2 new characters, that's 80. And obviously to pity a character, it requires you to go the full amount, being 80. Now, thankfully the rate itself isn't bad. The rate for Bleach Soul Reasonance for an SSR character on a premium banner is 1.83 or 82%. I was lucky enough to single summon Hitsugaya when I initially pulled for him, so it was an extra dupe. And then the Holification State Ichigo, yeah, I also managed to single him, so I got lucky. The luck is there. The rates are fairly decent, better than others, I will say, better than others, of course. And so having that amount of pulls, and good thing is that pity does carry over, by the way. So if that's something that you want to kind of keep and work towards the next character, your pity will carry over. So that's also a huge W. But yeah, the amount that you get when it comes to, let's say if you're going to go for engravings and weapon cards, GSSR. You can hit the GSSR. Character-wise, of course, you're going to need at least 80 to get to the GSSR mark. However, if we have 2 updates per month with 2 new characters coming in, then essentially at a given point you do have enough to guarantee yourself a character. So it's the case of being free to play. There's actually a decent amount of pools being given out here. I don't know if things are going to get nerfed, and that is one thing which I need to speak about in the review video, because as it stands right now, with the way it's being done, with the amount that they're giving out, I think it's done in a fair manner. I think it's done in a nicely manner, because it's giving that free-to-play players the option to be like, right, let me target and go for the character that I want to go for, right? I mean, it's not going to be the luxury of being able to summon for every character, but you've got a fighting chance to actually walk away with a character that you're wanting, of course. So it's not horrible in the manner of, as you know, other games, should I say, that it requires RNG. JJK Phantom Parade. Just saying. No, so I think with the amount of pulls that we're getting right now, 40 a month, I think that's pretty generous. A multi a month, I mean a week, sorry, that's pretty solid in my books. Obviously, depending on what events is released, you could probably get a little bit more out of it. But we're going with multi a week minimum. And then when it comes to character events, if it is an update every 2 weeks, then that's that right there is a free GSSR character for you at a later time on whoever you want to pull for. You guys can get lucky and pull whoever, build up characters, because again, there's a lot of time and investment goes into the game itself, and obviously with every character right now being SSR and SR, they hold value and they're actually pretty good. So, you know, if you guys want to wait out for Kenpachi, Aizen and whatnot, then you've got means to do so. But I think right now, with where the game is at, with what we experienced during this beta, is that I would say that the game is fairly free-to-play friendly. If you are capable of like saving and preparing for a set character that you want, of course, because that ultimately that's what it comes down to. So, but yeah, if you save the resources for the Spirit Jades, the currency, it's there. Just gotta save it up, and yeah, whenever a character releases of your choosing. There you go, GSSR them. Or maybe you get lucky. Maybe you get lucky and you pull them early on. You're saving your currency. So I just kind of want to go over with how the game is looking to anyone that was wondering when it comes to, is the game free-to-play friendly? To what amount are we able to gather through endgame stage? And again, just to reiterate, you're looking around about 40 pulls a month. If we have 2 updates per month, you're looking around 80 pulls. So that's a GSSR. If not, 60 pulls, that's still good. That's still good, because then that means you're 20 out. And again, that extra 20 could potentially come from with additional things being thrown in, logins, celebration times and whatnot. So new story, right? Because, I mean, they're going to keep updating the game with stories and whatnot. So there are other means to gather a little bit more currency as time goes on. But 40 is the minimum, 60 if there's 1 event, 80 if there's 2 events. So I think it's pretty solid. I think with the way things are being laid out right now in terms of with what you can farm in a free-to-play manner, I think it's pretty decent. If they keep it as is, I'll be happy. But I'm slightly worried that that might not be the case, and I'll get into that in the review video. But I just kind of want to go over on how things are looking when it comes to, is the game going to be free-to-play? Yeah? Because I mean, to me, it's a good amount of pulls being given away. Just gotta make sure you're on the ball, playing the game, growing it out, and save up. And then next thing you know, when Eisen drops, GSSR him.